Hello and welcome to another episode of the Digital Prosperity Podcast with me, Andy Gibbons, and today by yet another new face. We've got our Head of Operations and website expert, Charlotte.
Thanks.
Lovely to have you on today.
Thanks for having me.
Good. We're going to be talking today all things websites. So pretty much every business has a website today. There's a number of different platforms available. And Charlotte's built sites in pretty much all of them,
Wow.
I would say.
I won't go that far, but a lot, yeah.
A lot of them, yeah. But today we're going to focus on what we believe to be the front runner when it comes to website design, and that is HubSpot. So there is lots to go through. We're going to be discussing the benefits of having your website built in HubSpot, and as we go into the new year, why it's important to look at this now. Okay. So as always, I dive straight in, ask you a question. Most businesses have websites now, as we've discussed.
Yeah. But
why should they be looking to change?
I would say the main reason is most websites out there now are built on WordPress. So if your website's built on HubSpot, don't look to change because you're in the right place.
Good.
But I would say one of the main reasons is most websites are built on WordPress, and that would be a big reason to change. Mainly because of the way the platform has grown now over time. It's on a server, which means there's security issues. It's not as good for SEO. It's really difficult to edit as well. So many people have challenges with editing it. You have to have some code knowledge and functionality as well.
Yeah. Okay.
So I would say if you are on WordPress, that would be a big reason to look at changing your website in 2025.
I think the majority of businesses are on WordPress though, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, still to this day, I can't remember the actual statistic, but I think 80% of the websites out there are built on WordPress. And that's just because it was such a big platform, but it's now showing all of its cracks as technology is developed. And I would also say a lot of websites that business owners have had created, if they've worked with just a website company or like an ad hoc company to create the website, it's not normally set up with a strategy or a conversion in mind when it was being created as well. Yeah,
they're often designed to look good rather than actually generate leads, generate inquiries. And I think that's always been websites' challenges in a way, because a lot of web designers are design-led people. They're not necessarily marketers, effectively. So what I remember going back years is we would have people that have had a new website done, they'd ring me up and say, right, promote it. And we have to do that many changes to it. It would have been cheaper for us to do the website in the first place because they don't look at the SEO, they don't look at the security side of things. So but obviously websites have changed. I remember years and years ago, all the different platforms that have come about. We're going into 2025 now, as you can see, festive. We've got a Christmas tree. This is end of year, so it's a festive episode today. But we're going into 2025. What are the key fundamentals of a good website?
Okay, so I would say looking at Google's core web vitals, and I won't get too technical.
Don't.
But I won't get technical. But Google looks for certain things basically, and one of the biggest things at the minute is speed, how fast your website is. So one of the key factors of your website is it should be fast.
Yes.
So that's something you should definitely be looking at. And again, a lot of that comes down to the platform. WordPress sites don't tend to be very fast just because...
Is that still a thing, would you say, website speed?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's a big one. It's still an important factor for Google, I would also say video content and having clear messaging. If you think of today's day and age, everyone's on TikTok and wanted. Well, no, you might not be. But on YouTube, a lot of the content that we're taking is video content now. So again, I would be looking at having a lot of video content on your websites as well, so you can get your message across quickly. Another key fundamental, showing expertise, your authority, trustworthiness, and all of those things on your website as well. And then lastly, one of the biggest factors of a true performing website is the technical SEO.
Right.
Which no business owner, I would say, would need to understand what that is on a deep level, but just know that it's something you should at least be working with a company on to help with the technical SEO. Yeah, we have developers that do all of that fancy stuff, but that's, again, another huge factor that Google takes into account. So if you really want your website to start showing on Google, that's something you've got to heavily consider. Yeah.
And if you do want to learn more about SEO, I did a podcast last month with Dan, all about SEO for business owners. I made deliberately sure he did not go into any technical detail, so don't feel scared of listening to it, that it might go over your head. I made him dumb it down properly so I could understand it, basically. So that's good. So they're the key fundamentals then. So why is it important?
Or why are all those things important?
Why are all those things important to a business owner today?
Yeah.
Why are they important?
Because people think, like you said earlier, that a nice looking website is going to work, get found, and then get you leads. And unfortunately, it's just not the case. So you have to do a lot more with a website for it to actually produce results and leads for your business. And ultimately, that's why we have a website, to get found and to get leads. And all of that's important because it encompasses everything to help you get found and get leads. Just a nice looking website isn't going to do all of that stuff. And then secondly, those fundamentals are going to set your website up for ultimate success, I would say. So yeah, that's why it's important.
That's why it's important. So take note, business owners. So HubSpot obviously is our front runner. We've been building HubSpot websites now for
nearly 3 years.
3 years now. Okay.
Yeah, just off the back end of COVID.
You know, like our website is built with HubSpot. Has been. We tested it on ourselves first and foremost before we did any other business websites. So talk me through some of the benefits of having your website built in HubSpot.
Yeah. So benefits for businesses, I would say the core ones is editability.
Okay.
So we work with a lot of businesses where their marketing teams have so many ideas and things that they want to do to the website, but they just can't edit it.
Yeah. Well, they have to go through the developer that built it.
Yeah, they have to go through developers or their hosting company, and it just means they can't do as much as they want to do with their marketing. I'm working with a business at the minute, and we're setting the websip up on HubSpot, and her eyes just lit up when we showed her how you can edit it, because she was just like, I have so many ideas and now I can actually do it. She's put a day a week in her diary where she's just going to go and edit the website and add all this stuff that her MD's been wanting her to add. So I would say editability, because it's just drag and drop. It's so easy. We've trained so many non-technical people on how to edit the website on HubSpot, and they get on absolutely fine. I would say secondly, it's cloud-based. So it's all on the cloud, meaning there's a lot better security. You know, we've never had a HubSpot website hacked or anything like that. Whereas that's a lot more common on other platforms such as WordPress. So the security's there. And again, going back to Google, that's a big factor for Google. Every website that we build on HubSpot, we run through a Google security checker, and Google says 100% I'm happy with this. Yeah. So it's a big tick in Google's eyes. I would also say the integrations with the CRM. So HubSpot is essentially a CRM, and the website's just one small part of it. So for any business that's already using HubSpot for sales or marketing, etc., you should 100% have it in HubSpot, because you can then tie it into all of those different things in there. Or even if you're not using HubSpot, you can then start to move everything into the CRM. Your forms are in there, or your contacts will then go in there. And then lastly, there's other features like A/B testing and smart tools. Again, can get a bit technical, but it just allows you to test and measure the website better.
Yeah, tell me a bit more about A/B testing. Just explain what that is, or the benefit of it, what it is first and foremost, and why it's important.
Yeah, so A/B testing is basically where you can you have a website page and you want to make some changes to it to try and improve the page.
Yeah.
An A/B test, you basically make a copy of that page, so you have two of the same pages. You make edits on one of them, and you run them side by side. So the HubSpot will automatically show half of the visitors version A and half of the visitors version B.
Yeah. So if me and you went on a website today that's doing A/B testing, I will see one page.
I might see
and you would see a different page.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it's the same page, but different visitors might just see a different version of it. And HubSpot will then show you the results of which one performed better. So how long people stayed on the page, how many people converted, how many leads you got off the back of them. So you'd run it for a month or so, however long, and you'd then end up seeing which page works better. So it's really good to, if you're already getting a lot of traffic to a page, you don't want to just go on and change loads of things on there and like maybe make detrimental changes to it.
Yeah.
So it just allows you to make changes and play around with things a bit more without the risk of losing out on leads.
On everything.
You can make an educated decision essentially on the changes you're going to make on your website.
Yeah. Because I think a lot of business owners will have WordPress websites and might be using HubSpot as their CRM and might think, well, I'll use the HubSpot plugin on WordPress, for example.
Yeah.
You're shaking your head at me. What's wrong with that then?
You can't use the A/B testing with the plugin.
There we go.
Yeah,
so
you have to have the website in HubSpot
to be able to do that. So all the features, the benefits that we've just been through there, they're all HubSpot website platform exclusives, effectively.
Yes. Yeah. The integration between HubSpot and WordPress will just link the traffic, the data, in terms of the traffic and stuff.
No editability.
No,
nothing like that. Okay, got you. So, as you said there, 80% of websites are in WordPress.
Don't count me on that stat.
No, roughly speaking, I think you're about right.
Yeah, I think it is about right. Might have changed slightly, but.
So why not WordPress then?
Yeah, I would say the opposite of everything that I've just said about the benefits of HubSpot. So the first one is it's harder to edit. Now, we used to build all our websites on WordPress. Yeah, our website was worth saying.
In HubSpot as well. In WordPress, sorry. For many years.
Like when I started at JDR 6 years ago, nearly 7 maybe, we used to build them all on WordPress. And I loved WordPress at the time, so I thought, this is really good. And then when we started building on HubSpot, I was like, hang on a minute, this is like game changer.
Yeah.
So while you think when you're editing WordPress it might be quite easy, HubSpot's just a completely different ballpark. So I would say, the editability is much harder on WordPress. Hacks, they're so vulnerable. We had 2 clients in the last 2 weeks that had their websites hacked.
Okay. What happened there then? So talk me through a website hack today.
So a lot of the hacks will come from the WordPress plugins that are added into the website. But essentially, it's anyone out there just wanting to hack the website, maybe to try and get data from it, or just because they wanted to hack the plugin for the fun of it, and it ends up.
So a lot of the time they're hacking the plugin, not necessarily the company.
Yes.
And that affects
multiple
websites. So that business that suffered it the other week, that would have happened to lots of other businesses that might be using the same plugin. For example.
So the hack that happened, we believe that it was this one plugin that affected both of these websites because both of them had that plugin. Installed. Yeah, so it can completely break the website to the point where it just doesn't show anymore.
Right.
Or what happened with these 2 was all of the blog posts were changed to have random wording on it, just a load of text that the client hadn't put there, basically.
Right, okay.
So the hacks can look different. Your website might be hacked and you've not even realised, because there might just be some page somewhere that has been completely changed.
Yeah.
And it's due to a hack.
Right.
And while on the surface, the website might look fine, Google knows and they'll penalise you massively. And it's so much harder for you to then rank in Google.
Yeah. It's like when if you have a car crash, your car insurance goes up massively.
Exactly, yeah.
It's a good analogy.
Yeah, that's
isn't
a
it?
good analogy, yeah. That's exactly what happens, and we've been doing marketing for these two clients, so their traffic's been going up and up and up and up because of all the SEO we've been doing. And then as soon as the hack happens, it just goes like that, and it just makes it really difficult to recover from that. Yeah. And it's worth saying we didn't build or host those websites. They had those done before working with us.
Charlotte covering the back.
Yeah, covering my back. Yeah. So yeah.
Got you. Okay. Obviously, the biggest thing, if any of you listening have considered purchasing a HubSpot website to a WordPress website, one of the things that you have to invest in is one thing we have to talk about is the cost of HubSpot in comparison to WordPress. So lots of businesses will choose WordPress because it is an open source platform, and 9 times out of 10 a WordPress website will be cheaper than HubSpot in the long run because the subscription cost of HubSpot is significantly greater.
Yeah.
Do the benefits justify the cost, in your opinion?
Absolutely, yeah. Definitely. Because it's difficult to compare the cost of both of them, because with HubSpot you get a lot more features than you would with WordPress. Mm-hmm. So like the standard cost of WordPress will be a lot cheaper than the standard cost of HubSpot.
Yeah.
But with the HubSpot one you're getting a lot more features. So you're getting the forms, the editability, you get the blogs in there, landing pages, all of the traffic inside of there, the data, the dashboards. There's so many extra things that you get with that HubSpot cost than you wouldn't with WordPress.
Got you.
And I would also say in the long run, with your website being on HubSpot, the results are going to be better, all in all, and meaning you should get more leads off the back of a HubSpot website. We have clients that we build the websites for in HubSpot, and we always see they do better in their marketing and their results when we've built the website ourselves for them in HubSpot compared to when they've come on board with WordPress websites. So I would say, it definitely outweighs the cost.
Yeah. There's also the longevity of it as well, in the sense that most WordPress websites, most businesses will be in a cycle now of probably redoing their website every 2, 3, 4 years on average, and then they have to rebuild most things from scratch. The plugins stop working, the platform needs updating. Yeah. So actually what happens is you end up having to fork out another designer to build and a developer to build every 3 years to build that website. Whereas with HubSpot, by the sounds of it, it's future-proof. You can build the website and you've basically got a website for life. You can just change what it looks like consistently without having to worry about it being hacked, without worrying about plugins being updated or anything like that at all. Yeah. I suppose the only caveat that a lot of business owners will ask is that, well, am I tied in forever? Do you know, because I'm with WordPress, it's open source, so anyone can come in and pick it up and move it around. Whereas obviously people's fear, if you like, with something like HubSpot is, what if something happens to HubSpot? What if I want to leave, or I want to take my website away? Does HubSpot own my website? All those things will go through their mind. Yeah. So sort of explain to me the process or what is involved with a HubSpot. If your website is in HubSpot, are you tied into forever? Can you leave? Tell me.
I mean, you can if you want to.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to.
No. Okay, yeah. Take point.
But yeah, so I mean, if you have your website built on HubSpot and then you want to take it and move it somewhere else, you can't do that.
Yeah.
No, because it's not like you can just take your website out of HubSpot and put it in another platform. You'd have to rebuild the whole thing. So it's not like you can take it out and put it somewhere else.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to just get a new website somewhere else or whatever, yeah, you can do that. So if you decided you didn't want your website in HubSpot anymore, you can go somewhere else, get it built, take the HubSpot one down, put your new one up. So you can do that.
Yeah.
You're not tied in forever, no. But we haven't had, like you say, we've been building HubSpot websites for 3 years. We've not had any of them take it down and want to build it somewhere else.
It's a bit of a myth as well, because if you have your website in WordPress and you want a new one in 3 years, that person still will build it from scratch.
Yeah.
It makes no real difference.
Yeah, it makes no real difference.
At all. So, no, good answer there. But as I kind of touched on earlier, a lot of people will have HubSpot as their CRM. Maybe they use it for their marketing, for their sales.
Yeah.
But their website isn't in HubSpot. What are the benefits for those people then? Why should they be looking at having their websites done in HubSpot if they're as an existing HubSpot user?
Yeah, so it will, if you have your forms and your call to actions in HubSpot already and you're using that functionality, you can directly just then drag them into the website, and rather than using integrations and things like that, you can just drag and drop them in. You'll get better statistics on that. It's also then just your marketing all in one place.
Right.
So there'll be some businesses, like you say, that use HubSpot for their marketing, their website on WordPress, something else somewhere else, and it just means you can pop it all in one place. It all talks to each other nicely, and you're just logging into one thing for all of your marketing, sales, website. Also means that you then get the A/B testing, the landing pages, your website, and your blog all in one place as well. And I would say the biggest thing to consider is if you have all of your contacts inside of HubSpot, if you're using it for marketing or sales, you have all your contacts in there, you can then customize your website pages to the different demographics of the people in your database.
Okay.
So essentially, you have loads of contacts in your database, and say there's a group of people in a certain industry, and you want to be able to tailor your website to directly send a message to them.
Yeah.
You can then, if you have your website in HubSpot, you can select elements of the website page, select all of those people in your database, and then change the messaging so it's tailored to them.
Got you.
So I'd say that would be one of the biggest.
You can tailor the content that they receive based on who they are, their behaviour, what lists they're part of in HubSpot, that kind of thing.
So we had a website that we built for a company that makes medicine for dogs and cats.
Okay.
So they had two different types of people they targeted. One of them was vet clinics, and then the other one was pet owners, because they wanted to target the pet owners to bring their dogs in for free trials, and they wanted to target the vets to then sell them the medication. So they had all of those people in their database in HubSpot, so we split them into two different groups, and then we changed the website to send a different message to the different groups. So the whole website had different wording for the vet clinics and different wording for the pet owners, so you could target them differently.
Whereas if you would think of that normally, you would most businesses would probably have two websites, wouldn't they?
Two websites, or they're trying to mix.
Or they have the homepage of choose.
One.
Yeah. They'd have that home where you choose one or the other, and it just becomes a much bigger website. Whereas that is one website, and the message fits everybody.
Exactly.
Yeah. One thing we haven't talked about though, which arguably is the downside of HubSpot currently, is e-commerce.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you sell online, currently speaking, as it stands today, 2024, end of 2024, if you sell online, you can't sell online with a HubSpot website.
Yeah.
What are the best options for businesses that do sell products online then?
Yeah, so the best option that we use is Shopify.
Okay.
Because similar to HubSpot, it's a cloud-based platform, so it's secure. It's set up similar in the way to HubSpot with the benefits of editability. I mean, it's not as editable as HubSpot, but it's your best option.
Yeah.
Secure, works nicely, really user-friendly. So, we use Shopify for a lot of the e-commerce websites that we put together. I wouldn't recommend any like OpenCart or Magento, things like that.
Why not?
Because they are open source,
Okay.
like WordPress.
Similar
They're
issues.
not on the cloud. Similar issues with editability, very similar issues we've spoken about to WordPress. I mean, HubSpot are rolling out the e-commerce hub, so they're gradually getting there.
Yeah.
And I think in the next few years they'll have an e-commerce
Platform
that
I
we
think so. I
can
think
use.
you're right there.
I'm sure once that's up and running, we'll be in there straight away.
Yeah.
But for now, Shopify is the best option.
Yeah. So if anyone in HubSpot R&D is listening to this, get it added as soon as possible. Make Charlotte's life a lot easier.
Yeah, please.
Great. Okay. There's lots more that we can go into. I'm not going to go into more of those things today. What I always say to every guest that comes on is they have to give me a silver bullet, which is basically one actionable tip for a business owner that you would give a business owner now on what we've discussed today. So you're in front of a business owner, you get to give them one tip on websites. What are you saying to them?
I would say book a meeting with you.
It's a very good answer. It's a very good answer because they should. Because that's right. I can talk to them about their website. I can help them choose the right platform, HubSpot, and talk to them about the benefits of everything that you talked about with me today, which is great. So everyone should do that anyway.
Absolutely, yeah.
But if they're not ready yet, or maybe they've met me, or whatever it might be, give me something a bit more tangible, please.
That they can really do.
Yes.
Okay. I would say look at your website and question, does this just talk about me?
Yeah.
Or does it really talk directly to who I'm trying to attract?
Yes.
And what I mean by that is, what are their pain points? How can you help them? How will what you do for them change their day-to-day lives or make their life easier? Does your website send that message to them, or does it just talk about you and how great you are and how long you've been in business and things? Because in the nicest way possible, a lot of people don't care about that.
It's just human nature. People don't care about you.
Yeah.
They care about what's in it for themselves, ultimately.
Yeah. So I would say do that, and if the answer is it's talking about me, I would go in and start changing your messaging to really think about your ideal customer and what message you want to send them, what's really going to attract them to bring them in.
I would also add as well is that you want to talk about the message, you want to talk about how does the website, what message you're getting across, but also you should look at what do you actually want them to do when they go on it. And that's the difference between having a good looking website and a website that generates leads and inquiries. Okay? Is that, and we've got conversion rate experts. I'm going to be doing a podcast with Amber next year. Got ideas for that. So we're going to go into a lot more detail on website conversion. That would be what I would add to that, but that's really good. There's lots more that we can go into. I could digress into lots of different areas, caveat, segment into different ways. I'm not going to do that, but I am definitely going to bring you back, I think, for another episode next year.
Lovely.
Might even do a webinar, I think. It'd be really good. to actually show people the HubSpot platform. I think that'd be really good. But yeah, thanks everybody for listening. It's a wrap for 2024 for me. Year of podcasts. Thanks to everyone that's listened, watched us on YouTube. As I've already kind of alluded to there, I've got lots of exciting plans for 2025. Keep a lookout for the next episodes. They'll be on all the normal platforms soon. But yeah, have a brilliant Christmas, New Year, and attack 2025. Bye everyone.
Bye.